Good morning. My name is Beth Grasso, and I'm one of the counselors at Westmore Central High School. And today I am with Ms. Graves from Shenandoah University. So we are so grateful that you are choosing to spend your Friday morning with us and sharing information about the school. So if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself and the school that you represent, Shenandoah University, and some of the favorite aspects of campus in the school.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about me is that I actually studied at Shenandoah all 4 years. I studied psychology, criminology, criminal justice, and gender and women's studies. Yes, I graduated in 4 years, and I changed my major about 7 times. So I promise you, you have so much time to figure it out. I am now the senior first year admissions counselor here at Shenandoah, so I help admit all of our first year students from New Jersey, but also from a little bit of Virginia. So I do work in two different areas. And then a little bit about just our campus in general and like my favorite place on campus would probably be Sarah's Glen. If you ever come and see Shenandoah, it's a little spot. It's completely open. It has Wi-Fi, which is really nice, but it also has a waterfall and just little seats that you can sit at and two weeping willows. So it's my favorite spot on campus.
Sounds beautiful. And tell us a little bit about the campus culture.
Absolutely. So something that I like to say is that I never wanted to go to a school that was a backpacking school. And what a backpacking school is when students come for the weekday, but then on the weekend they pack up and they go home. I wanted to come to a school where something was always happening, and Shenandoah fit that for me. So we always have sporting events going on. We have different conservatory performances. So maybe that's music theater, maybe that's dance, maybe that's just an orchestra. We also have color runs. We have things called club carnivals where we have different events going on campus, all 100% free. All of our students get involved. I will 100% be the first person to tell you that the loudest people at the sports games are going to be our conservatory. And then the most supportive at the conservatory performances is going to be our athletes. So we're a very big family here.
That's so wonderful. I love that. And the carnivals, that sounds wonderful. Sounds like a lot of fun. So there most of the students then obviously stay on campus.
90% of our first year students will be on campus. We have guaranteed housing for all 4 years. And then we even have what we call the village. So this is upperclassmen living. If you have a good GPA and you are involved on campus, you get to live in basically our apartments on campus. You get your own kitchen, you get your own bathroom, your own room, which is really nice. And it's the same cost as normal housing anyway.
That's really nice. You don't hear that very often. Get your own room, which is wonderful. What are some fun traditions at Shenandoah?
So my favorite is that we usually have this huge capture the flag game that sometimes can last a couple days. So personally, it's usually all of our conservatory is usually against our College of Arts and Sciences, business, nursing. So it's kind of split because our conservatory is ginormous. So they will be on one side, we'll be on the other side. And I promise you right now, do not underestimate the conservatory. They are so crazy because they came all in black last year. It was like at 9 o'clock, so it was dark outside. They were ready to come. And I was on the College of Arts and Science side. We did not prepare for this. We came in like neon colors. They wiped us out in like 10 minutes.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's definitely my favorite one that we do is a big capture the flag against the schools.
That sounds like so much fun. And how many schools are there?
So we have 8 schools and divisions. So we have our conservatory, College of Arts and Sciences, which is going to house any of our different areas for like history, psychology, criminology, math, things like that. Then we have our business school, which has 9 different areas of study. We are actually one of the only schools that has an esports program. We are also the longest esports program for a major, which is really cool. Then we also have our Division of Applied Technology. We have engineering now, nursing. We are nationally ranked for our nursing school and our business school. We have one of the highest accreditations for both of those, which is really great to talk about. And then we have a couple others. So engineering is brand new this year. We're also starting aviation, which is really cool. A lot of students are looking into that as well. So yeah, lots of different areas.
Lots of different ones. I have to be honest, I didn't realize how many areas. And then with the conservatory. So
Oh,
many offerings really for everyone, sounds like. Is
mhm.
there any top majors in school that you would want to point out?
So a couple that I we get a lot of questions about, I can say, is for our conservatory, we are triple threat. So we have music, theater, and dance, and we have one of the best music theater programs on the East Coast. So that's usually a really big one that everybody wants to talk about. Then we also have our business school. Like I said, we are one of the only schools with an esports program. It's very successful. I believe we had our first graduating class from that program from 2022, and it's still thriving to today. So that's really nice. And then, of course, we have other areas like nursing. So we have a really big nursing program. We accept about 30 to 40 students in a cohort, sometimes up to 50, depends on how many students apply. And we are direct admit. So if you apply for the nursing program as a first year student, you are in the nursing program. We save that seat for you.
You read my mind. That was going to be my question. Thank you. We hear so much about sticker price versus actual price. Can you talk a little bit about the typical financial aid
Yeah,
packages
absolutely.
per se?
So our sticker price is a little scary. Everybody says it's scary, but that's going to be every school you go to for sure. So we are just under 50,000 per year. However, every single one of our students will get an academic scholarship. So that does range. It's 100% based off of your GPA. We are test optional, so we do not look at SAT or ACT scores. So you get an academic scholarship based off your GPA. We also have a presidential scholarship. If you have a 3.8 or higher GPA, you can be qualified for that presidential scholarship. And then we also accept all outside scholarships. Your FAFSA will usually help you in some type of way. And then we also just work with our students pretty one-on-one. My best advice for students is to get to know your admissions counselor because they're going to be that person that's fighting for you.
Got it. We try to tell them that as well. So it's nice to hear it directly from, the mouth of an admissions counselor. So you mentioned your test optional. Does it affect scholarship consideration at all, or just the GPA is really the scholarship?
Just GPA scholarship. We used to have requirements on the SAT and ACT. We do not anymore, just for the simple fact that we think 4 years is a way better representation than 4 hours. But you're more than welcome to send us your score. Please, please, please do not send me an official score. It's like $75 to do so. Just send me a picture. You can screenshot your score. I will take your word for it. We'll talk about it. If you're at that 3.8 mark, we will definitely send it in and tell our president about it.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. And that with the test optional for every major, including nursing. Okay,
Yep.
just want to make sure. So, as you know, we're an IB World School with both the IB Diploma Program and the career-related programs. How does IB affect a student's admissions candidacy? Do you think IB students have an advantage over other students?
So, yes and no. The best way I can describe this is that it is taken into account. So, if we have a student who might have, for instance, a lower GPA than normal, but they are an IB student and they're taking some pretty rigorous courses, that is definitely taken into account when we're looking at accepting them. Because we understand, you're not just sitting in class and not doing anything. You're hands-on, you're working, you're understanding things, you're learning them at a higher level than some other students. So we definitely take that into account when it comes to accepting you. But then we also take that into account when our president is looking at our presidential scholars and who they want to offer them to. So sometimes an IB course can definitely be the thing that pushes you over somebody else, which is really nice.
Yes, great, thank you. How important do you think the essay is? And also, I'll throw in the activity section.
Yeah. So they are 100% optional materials for our students, but there are two groups that I would say that are important for this. So as we all know, COVID did affect our students, and we still see a lot of studies still see that there is still things that are being affected by it. So we take that into account when we look at our students, and maybe they have something on their transcript that they don't think is a good representation of themselves. Maybe they're upset with how low their GPA is for some reason. Something might be off for them, and they're like, this isn't who I am. That's when the essay and the activities kind of come in. That's when I'm like, okay, send me those in because that's going to give me fuel to fight for you. So when we're sitting down and we're talking about the student, I can say, look, this student, yes, this is what this is showing us, but look at all of the things they were involved in during this year. Look at all of the things that they are going through. And if they tell me in a personal statement something that they had going on, maybe it's a personal issue, or maybe it's just like, hey, I'm trying really hard this year because I realized I slacked off. That shows so much motive. And that really helps them kind of get back in. And then the other kind of area that I would talk about is for that 3.8. So 3.8 GPA, if you're looking at the presidential scholarship, I want to emphasize that our president President Fitzsimmons, Tracy Fitzsimmons, she really does read every single one of these. I've had her text me before and be like, "Hey, can you tell me about this student?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let me pull them up." And she already knows everything about them. She's just like, "I saw that they race horses and they do this," and I'm like, "How do you know all of this?" Because she really does read every single one, which is really nice.
Wow, very impressive. Absolutely. Um, and what do you think makes the students, stand out in the admissions review process? It sounds like it's very much on the GPA, so transcript is really, the most important piece. Is
Mhm.
there anything else that you could maybe recommend to students to help them stand out?
Um, I definitely still say get to know your admissions counselor. I've had plenty of students where they're emailing me all the time asking me questions. Sometimes they're just checking in saying like, "Hey, I sent in my transcript. I just want to make sure that you got it." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Those names are what like rings in my head. So then when I do see them come across and we're in committee or something, I can be like, "You know what? This person's been on top of it. They've been working on it. They do this, this, and this." And when I get to see them on like visits, definitely come and visit the campus. One, because that's going to help you kind of decide where you want to be. Trust me, when you step on a campus, you'll know if it's the right place. But then two, it's also going to help you kind of meet me and like we're going to talk and I'm going to be like, oh, I can put a face to the name. And then when you come and visit for orientation or maybe an open house, or maybe if you're a presidential scholar and you have the presidential breakfast with us, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I know this student. I'm going to run up to you. We're going to have a great conversation. I'm going to know your parents. I'm going to know your guardian. So that really helps kind of make you feel at home, but also helps us with like who you are.
Absolutely. I was just say it sounds like such a nice community where everyone really knows each other and you guys really take the time to get to know the students before they even step foot on campus,
Oh,
which
for
is
sure.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, which is really great. Anything else you might want to add, like any other piece of advice that you would want to share with a student who's going through the application process in general?
Yeah. So two things. So if we're going to separate our students for a second, if you are in the conservatory, I want you to know that if you are looking at your portfolio, you'll have a interview, you'll have a audition, all kinds of different things, and we walk you through all of it. Don't worry, like we'll help you. I promise you, you're not going to be in the dark on this. I just want you to know to have fun with it. Don't come in super stressed. Like it is a stressful time, and we understand that, but we're going to be there with you. We're going to tell you you did amazing. Everybody else that's auditioning is going to tell you you did amazing. So please just take that deep breath and you'll be 100% okay. And then for our other side of the students, please explore all of your colleges, all of your different areas. I obviously want you to come to Shenandoah. I will be that advocate for Shenandoah every single day, every single year. But I do want you to explore and kind of figure out what is right for you. Don't just pick a school because mom or dad went there, or maybe just because you think it's going to be a great place to play a sport. Pick something that you think that you'll fit in at, that you like. They have multiple different areas of study that you're interested in. Don't just pick one because they have the one area you're studying. Because I mean, I've changed my major 7 times. You might go in once with one and be good, but you never know.
Oh, that's excellent. I can feel your enthusiasm. I love it. I'm inspired. So, and good for you, right? Really trying to figure out what you want to do. And sometimes it does, end up where you are changing your major several times. And it sounds like Shenandoah had so many opportunities that you're able to do so, which is great
Yeah,
as well.
I think the only areas that like we're usually like pretty strict in is going to be our health and life sciences. So we pull very hard for exercise science because we have physical therapy, athletic training, occupational therapy, um, kinesiology, which goes straight into either like you can be a gym teacher or you can go straight into like athletic training, different things like that. And we have 6 pathways for these. So we have early assurance pathways, we save seats, and then we have traditional pathways as well. So we do get a lot of like exercise science come in. They end up getting the early assurance, so they do a 3 and 3, so 6 years instead of 7. So then there's like a little bit of a harder time. But usually, if you're coming in and you're trying the early assurance, you probably know that you want to be a physical therapist or an athletic trainer. Um, but even so, we still work with our students. So I know that we've had in the last 4 years, we had 2 people switch out of exercise science to go into biology, and then they went a completely different route. And we made sure that that worked for them. So they still graduated on time.
Perfect. I'd imagine, is it more difficult to switch from the biology into that route?
So it's a little bit easier because we do our early assurance as a first year student. So if you miss the early assurance deadline, don't worry. We still have 3 other ways you can get into the program. So if you switch from biology to exercise science to go into physical therapy, we do this instead. You can interview for it your senior year instead of your first year. So then you can still have that saved seat for you. So we save about 15 seats just from senior year to going in. But then on top of that, we also save 10 seats for SU alumni in general. So maybe you took a year off, you can still get back in with that safe seat.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's wonderful. And how about engineering? Is that one is direct admit as well?
So our engineering program started this year. We have 4 different dialects for it. So we're still kind of learning it. We do have a full core cohort this year, so that's really exciting. So we're kind of seeing where students' interest is, because our biggest thing about Shenandoah is we want to make sure our interest is there. And if students aren't looking for something like that, then we're going to try to rework it to find something that works for them. And we're working on internship opportunities and stuff. But as of right now, it should be job entry level right after grad. Like, so as soon as you are done with undergrad, you should be able to go and get a job.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you so much. This was so informative. I really
Yeah.
appreciate your time. So do you want to just share if any students had any questions, a place that they can contact you?
Yeah, so you can either call me. My number is 540-678-4316, or you can email me. It's going to be my first name, CERA, period, Graves, GRAVES, at su.edu. And you can find that on our website too.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. This was really wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.